All right, good morning, guys. I do not have my beautiful assistant with me today, so I will be filming this video on a boring old tripod. All right. So, what we've got today to get started for the warm-up, we're going to go for 6 minutes. You guys are going to do 3 Cossack squats on either side, so wide stance. I'm going to sit down until this hip crease drops below parallel, stand back up, over to the other side, same thing. Making sure to keep both heels flat on the ground to enhance the stretch in the groin on the trailing leg, and then to keep the front leg nice and safe, the one that's loaded. After that, you're going to do 15 bunny hops, so just warming up the calves, trying to get ready for those double unders later. Then we're going to do 6 narrow stance squats, so feet can be touching or just pretty close together. And all we're going to do is send the hips back, press the knees out, try and get below parallel, and then stand back up. After that, you're going to do 3 broad jumps. So again, load into a hang position and then jumping, fully extending the hip and landing nice and softly. And you're going to do 3 of those. And you're going to run through that for 6 minutes. That's your warm up today. So relatively straightforward there. For our strength work, you're going to have 5 sets. We're going to do a 30-second squat, followed by 3 vertical jumps to a quarter squat landing. So, for the 30-second squat, we did these last week or 2 weeks ago as a cool down. Today, it's your primary strength piece. So what I want you guys to do is we're going to load these up as heavy as you can over the course of 5 sets while maintaining good tempo. So what I would recommend is, for ease of counting probably, is you want to do about a 10-second descent, about a 10-second hold in the bottom, and then about a 10-second stand out of the squat. And again, if we're doing these at home, you should be able to, between your kettlebell and your dumbbell, and then maybe a backpack with some weight in it, get to a heavy enough load that you're going to be very challenged for a 30-second squat, again, in a good tempo, keeping things nice and active. You can also use a barbell if you have one, so you can do a front squat, back squat, variations up to you. I would recommend either a back or a front squat. But again, slow tempo squatting like this is a great time to focus on muscle engagement. So what we're really trying to do is slow things down so that you can focus. So what that means is, on the way down, as I'm counting, I really want to feel the weight in the heels. I want to feel pressing my knees out. I want to feel my butt cheeks loading on the way down, all the way until I get down below parallel. And then while I'm here, I want to focus on maintaining a braced midline while taking some shallow breaths. And then on the way up, same thing. I really want to focus on squeezing my butt out of the bottom of that squat, making sure that my hips start to press forward as I come to a stand. So again, slow things down, focus, and really try and feel what that movement is supposed to feel like. After that, our conditioning for the day, it's 4 times. It's 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 10. You're going to do 30 double unders at the start of every round. So again, it's 10 sets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Every round starts with 30 dubs, and then you're going to do 1 hang clean, 1 front squat, 1 box jump. Then you're going to do another 30 double unders, and then we're going to do 2 hang cleans, 2 front squats, 2 box jumps, etc., etc. And you're going to keep working your way up in that format until you finish with 30 dubs, 10 hang cleans, 10 front squats, 10 box jumps. So, again, this is a longer workout today. It's probably going to take, I would say, anywhere from like 12 to 18 minutes. There is a 20-minute time cap. So RX loading, like if you were going to do this workout, I would say like 115.75 would probably be your RX weights. So, keep that in mind, or you can something to strive for. But we're looking to be able to go unbroken through most of your hang cleans plus front squats. So think about, towards the end of this workout, could I do 8 hang power cleans and 8 front squats with this weight? Could I do 9 and 9, 10 and 10? Again, you don't have to go unbroken, but for most of the workout, you should be able to. So at least through the 4, 5, 6, those kind of middle sets. Now, for the double unders, if you don't have double unders, you can scale the reps. So you can always go down to 10 or 15 reps per round. The double unders are meant to be a pretty fast and furious piece of the workout, so I don't want you spending too much time on them. If you don't have them, you can do hops to a low object, or you can do 2 to 1 single unders. So again, I can always jump to my low object, just working on that rebounding piece of the double under. I don't know if that was on camera actually, so again, jumping to here, just working on rebounding off the ground and staying explosive and on the toes. For the hang cleans, so these are hang power cleans. So again, all we're looking to do, this should be relatively light today, so light to maybe on the moderate side, but closer to light. Again, I want to be able to cycle through these. So what that means is that I want to be able to go from just below the hip crease, catching a nice high quarter squat, so not catching too deep or too wide, and I should be able to stand up, load right back to the mid thigh, and come back up to my next rep. So there should be no pausing or kind of thinking when you're going through these. They should be really smooth, and again at a weight that you feel very confident with. So I want to be able to go from here, just above the knee, big hips, fast elbows to a quarter squat, stand up, and then I should be able to reset right through the hip, back to the hang position, and go right into my next rep. If you're doing this workout with a dumbbell, again, I will leave it up to you guys. You have 2 options. If the weight that you have is challenging and it's relatively heavy, then you can alternate arms every rep. So you could do round 1, 1 hang clean, 1 front squat, followed by your box jump, jump rope, and then on round 2, you would do 1, 2, followed by 1, 2. So again, you can switch arms as you go through the rounds if the weight is relatively heavy. If the weight is relatively light, you can perform the reps per side. So you'll do 1 hang clean, followed by 1 front squat, followed by 1 hang clean, followed by 1 front squat, and then on the next round it will be 2, 2, 2, 2, followed by 2, 2, and then 2 front squats. So again, it's up to you guys. You have some options here depending on how challenging the weight is to you and what you have access to. And then for the front squat, again, after the hang clean, again, we already focused on all those squat mechanics, during our strength work today, the slow engagement, focus on what you're doing. Now for the front squats, we want to try and apply those, but obviously we're going to be doing it a little bit quicker. So the biggest thing to try and think about for the front squat is that, excuse me, the bar should be centered as close to my center of mass as possible. So when we say elbows up during the front squat, when we say chest proud, shoulders tight, all those things, all we're trying to do is get that bar right over the center of mass as best as I can. So having that bar is kind of awkwardly pressed into my throat just a little bit, resting on my shoulder or my collarbones, and I want to hold that position the entire time. So again, the elbows staying up, it just helps to try and maintain that position. We're not telling you to front squat with your elbows up because your elbows are, again, it's not because of the elbows, it's because of the position of the bar that we're trying to achieve. So try and keep that bar uncomfortably back and keep it resting on the shoulders rather than resting on the hands. And then our last movement for the day, we've got a box jump or a tuck jump. And again, we want to try and be explosive here. So we want to try and use a jumping stimulus rather than a step up because we're doing these right after the front squats and we don't want to overload those legs too bad. So if you have an injury like knee, back, things like that, you're more than welcome to do step ups as a scaling option. Otherwise, scale the height. So again, I can always do a jump to a lower object, catching a nice quarter squat, stand up, and then I can step down. And then lastly, my tuck jump. So if I'm going to do tuck jumps, I'm going to jump and bring my knees up as high as I can every time. And you're going to go through same rep scheme, so 1-to-1 for those. For our cool down today, for the accessory, we've got pretty simple plank work. So what I'm going to do is a 30-second side plank per side, followed by a 30-second plank. So again, for the side plank, I'm going to be nice and active. So I'm going to press through the shoulder, hips are up nice and high, I'm not letting them sag at all. And I'm going to hold for 30 seconds on one side, followed by 30 seconds on the other side. And then I'm going to do a 30-second normal plank. So 30 seconds on both hands with the butt squeezed, with the belly tight, creating a nice active position through the shoulders as well, trying to press through the ground, and I'm gonna hold that for 30 seconds. And you're gonna do that for 3 rounds. And ideally, try your hardest to go unbroken. So it's gonna be basically a 4.5 minute plank. 30 on one side, 30 on the other side, and then 30 on both hands. After that, our last piece for the day is some mobility. So we've got a 90-second pigeon pose, followed by a 1-minute runner stretch. So for the pigeon pose, again, our classic glute stretch. So foot's up nice and close to the waistline here. And I'm just trying to sink that butt cheek back towards the ground. I can go chest to the floor, or I can stay chest tall. It's up to you guys. They're both great stretches. They just change it up a little bit. And then your other stretch is gonna be a runner stretch. So you're gonna find some room against the wall. I'm gonna keep my leg either straight to focus on the high calf, or bend the knee to focus more on the low calf and the Achilles. And I'm gonna do that for 1 minute per side. That's training for Wednesday. So enjoy today, guys. Get after it. And we will see you back tomorrow for our Thursday training. As always, tag us, Forged by Zeus, Palace.Ithaca, CrossFit Queens, and we will see you guys back.